And you're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. I am Miriam Abna Adede, and that was Photocopy featuring Shatawale on School the Bee, Home the Ball, of course. School will always, be exciting, and that is why we are joining hands with the world to commemorate the World Literacy Day, which was marked last Sunday, 8th September 2024. And it is a day set aside to highlight the importance of literacy as a matter of dignity and also human rights. And as part of our efforts in promoting global literacy, we at Clock TV, we want to encourage every single person to embark on the literacy advocacy, and we want to help everyone to understand the importance of literacy. And that is why we have an amazing guest with us in the studio today. And she's going to help us to understand the various transformative ways we can all empower our communities through literacy. And she's in the person of, before I mention her name, she's a detail-oriented editor and proofreader. And she's also an English teacher with the St. Martin's de Porres School in Accra. She's the person of Miss Angela Ankoma. Hello, Angie.
Hello, Miriam.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. You?
I'm good. Have you taken some cocoa this morning?
Unfortunately, I couldn't take cocoa.
Oh, why? So what did you take?
Accra traffic is too heavy to take cocoa.
Right. Thank you so much for, making it to our show this morning.
Thank you so much for having me as well.
Okay. So I know you'll be launching a book very soon, which is on the 14th of September. We'll talk about that. But let's talk about empowering communities through literacy. To you, what would you say literacy is, or what does it mean to a child?
I believe literacy is our ability to read, write, and understand. Most often, we limit literacy to just reading and writing, but recent times, we've realized that literacy even gets to numeracy. So if you go to the market and you are buying something, supposing the seller doesn't speak any local language, you speak English.
Yeah.
In the calculation, it's maths.
Yeah.
You should understand why the seller is saying this and why you should add this amount or get this change after paying. So literacy, our ability to read, write, understand, and also now including numeracy.
Right. But I'm more concerned about reading, because I believe before we will even understand, we should be able to, understand what we are reading, right? So how do you think reading transforms the lives of young people? You being an English teacher.
Reading is one of the most important skills that we need to cultivate. So let me share a very short story of myself.
Okay.
I had an illiterate mother.
Okay.
My mom didn't go to school.
Wow.
She couldn't speak English.
Oh.
She couldn't read.
Wow.
Yes, but I have a literate grandma.
Wow.
Yes. So at the age of 6, my grandma started buying me books.
Okay.
Even though mom could not help me read,
yeah.
she made sure that I read the books that grandma bought for me and gave grandma a summary of the book every Sunday she comes to our house.
Wow.
So that helped me open up to different worlds. I started understanding things that are not in my space, but the books gave me that opportunity to understand that there is a world beyond what I see around me. And it makes children positive. It also lets children know that they can strive for better things.
Okay.
So you are not limited to what is around you. You've read a book and you've seen someone doing great things. You see yourself in that person. So you'd also want to do that. So that's the biggest transformation I believe reading can give a child, opening us up to new worlds that can shape our mentality, make us positive. Yes.
Right. So Sunday, just the Sunday, we marked the World Literacy Day, which was an exciting day. Just as I said, it was a day set aside to highlight the importance of literacy. To you, as an English teacher, what would you say is the present issue or challenge when it comes to literacy, regardless of age? What would you say is the challenge?
I would say interest. are we interested in reading? Do we have love for reading? Do we have a passion
Yeah.
for reading? If you are not passionate about reading, you won't take a book to read. You won't go online to read an article. So we need to help our children, and even as adults, we need to develop interest in reading. How do we do this? Somebody may ask. If you're a parent and you don't read in your home, your child doesn't see you reading, I'm not sure that child would be motivated to read. Of course,
Speak
when
to
they
us directly.
yes, please. When they come to school, we, as teachers, we will speak to them, read, we take them to the library, we guide them to read. But the period there is short. In an hour, we are back to the classroom. So when the child comes home during weekends, during vacation, holiday, what do you do? As a parent, do you read? As an adult, do you read? Some people will go a year, no book, nothing, and they move. I think that's...
The economy is hard, so we don't have time to read.
Oh.
That is our excuse. What do you have to say about that?
I believe that discipline is very important. So we need to set time for that. In a day, we are not telling you to read a whole book in one day.
Okay.
You can read just 5 pages each day before you go to bed. Even 1 page each day before you go to bed. I believe that that is a way of cultivating the habit of reading.
Reading.
Yes.
So with that, it doesn't just lie, in the hands of just teachers, but parents also have a role to play.
Exactly. Not just parents, everybody in the house.
In the house. Just like in your case, your grandmom was very pivotal in that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was not even staying in the same house with us. But she comes over once a week on Sundays.
Okay.
But she makes sure that the books are there before she comes. So when she's there, my lady, sit down. Give, what is in the book? What did you learn? You have to definitely read. So all of us have to come on board and help our children.
Right. Let me just chip this in. In our earlier discussion during the newspaper review, we were talking about the state of basic education in the country and how it is affecting a lot of people. What would you say how do I even put the questions? Do you think basic education also influences the love students have towards reading?
Absolutely.
So should we all take our kids to preparatory school, private schools, where, teachers like your type, have all the time to groom our kids to love reading?
We all can't take our kids to private school because we know the economy.
Yeah.
Some people can't afford the fees in some of these private schools. So teachers, no matter where you are, whether you're in the government sector, you're in the private sector, you need to give your all when it comes to educating our children. So if a teacher in the private school goes beyond and above to do something for his or her children, her students, you are not exempted, even if you are in the government sector. So it's not about going to a private, it's the system, the structure. If the system and the structure is working, I don't think that we'll have... Let me chip this in. We went for an outreach at Kolegono Community Library, I think last 2 weeks, Saturday. And after the presentation, we were asking the girls to fill some forms for us. And I met one lady. She says she can neither read nor write.
Wow.
I asked her age, and she was 16.
16 years?
Yes, 16.
Wow.
I asked her class, and she says she's in JHS 1. Wow. I felt very bad.
Of course, you were 16 years.
16 years. So I didn't let her see that I was shocked. I just explained every question to her. Unfortunately, I can't speak Ga, another language barrier. So I used the English, but I had to say it in so many ways for her to get it. Then, even writing J, she turned it. 16 years.
So how did she get to JHS?
That's the same question I asked myself. So the basic school, we come back to it. Basic school, 9 good years. From, say, crèche to class 6, JHS, and you can't write. So there are so many factors that lead to this. It can be teachers, maybe a learning disability.
Of course.
Dyslexia is there, dysgraphia is there. We have a lot. It can be
Before
the
you
system.
move, just elaborate on the dyslexia and this what?
Dysgraphia. We have a
Dysgraphia.
lot of learning disabilities.
Okay.
So dyslexia has to do with writing, reading. There are some students, they know what they want to, they can speak.
Yeah.
But when you tell them to put it in writing, then there is a problem. You see them changing their B with their P.
Yeah.
It's quite a serious thing in Ghana, but we don't even know. So some of these children will come to school. A teacher may not even know that this child has dyslexia. And then you'll be angry all the time. When it comes to class discussion, the child is speaking with confidence. Then
when it
you
comes
tell
to
Kofi, Kofi, now put it in your exercise book so that I mark. You know, GES, everything has to be marked. Yes. The child is not able to do it. That's dyslexia. Then we have dysgraphia, handwriting. Handwriting. The lines are drawn, but you see the A up there, you see the P. The whole thing looks like a mess on the paper. We have dyscalculia, mathematics. I think I have dyscalculia. I have a serious problem with maths.
Right. I've had, a lot of people say, oh, me, I'm good at speaking English, but I can't write. And I'm okay because, when I go out and I'm speaking, people look at me with so much joy and no one even is interested in me writing. And they feel proud, And I think they also have to look into that. But let's talk about some of the challenges you as a teacher have faced in the classroom on how to help students to read, like some of the challenges you have faced.
Okay, so when it comes to challenges with reading, in the school system, we have, in my school, we have time for library.
Okay.
So when it's time, we go to the library, you help them take their books. Sometimes they want to take it themselves, they do that. Then they read the books. If they have any issues, they can just come to you. One thing is, because you have different students, some are slow readers, some are fast readers, some are not interested in reading at all. So we'll go to the library. The book will be open, but nothing is getting to the head. So most often what I do is that I speak with them before we go to the library. You need to prepare their minds. It's just an hour. Even if you can't read for that 1 hour, just read a page or two. I believe that these kids are very smart. They are also sensitive. So if you don't touch their hearts, whatever you are teaching them or you are telling them, they will enter and pass through this.
It's true.
So we have to get close to them. Some too may have genuine issues. So we shouldn't be so annoyed. Just calm down. Sometimes I get so angry, but I remind myself, sister, relax, then deal with them. So when you touch their hearts, the affective part of teaching is the most important thing.
I remember a few weeks ago or months when the final JHS students were about to write their BC, a teacher contacted me that she wanted me to do a video for the students, encouraging them to write and using myself as an example, someone they look up to. And I was like, hey. So she was like, yeah, maybe my personality can, have an impact or influence in their academic performance.
Exactly.
And I did that, and I got some, testimonies out of that. And I think what you're saying is also right.
Yes. When they see that you love them, yes, that's what I have learned.
Yeah.
When they see that you love them, they will also listen to you. But if it's just giving orders, do this, do that, honestly, these kids, They are big boys and girls.
True. Right. We have a question here, and this is from Sewa inside Kaswa. Sewa says, please, can you ask Madam if she can recommend some of the books we can use for our kids to start reading? I think she's asking for recommendations of, books that they can use
It depends
to
on
help their kids learn how to read.
It depends on the age of the child. So if your child is even between the ages of, say, 6 to 11. So if you have this child, that means that you shouldn't go for books that have big vocabularies, and they shouldn't be too voluminous because it discourages the child from reading.
Yes.
We have some Ghanaian writers who are specialized in children's book and teens book. One is Ruby Goka.
Okay.
Yes, so if she can get any book from Ruby Goka, I believe that it will help. Yes. So she writes books for teens and children.
Okay. We also have a question here. This is from Kwame. Okay. Kwame did not add his location, but he said, how do we integrate practical lessons into our books and encourage and engage young readers to love reading?
Practical lessons in the book to encourage reading.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you write a book, for instance, and you want to encourage reading, you can give a section for some questions after reading. They shouldn't be knowledge-based. It should be reflective. So if the child is not able to answer the question immediately, then the child can go back and read again in order to think about it deeply. So you can have these reflective questions at the end of your book.
Okay.
Yes, it shouldn't be too many because it's not examination. Reading has to be fun and exciting.
Right. So if you just joined us, this is the lifestyle segment here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. We've been having an interaction with Miss Angela Ankoma, right? Yes. On ways to help transform our communities through literacy, and she's been doing justice to the questions. It is an interesting conversation here. You can join the conversation by sending in your comments to our WhatsApp number, which has been displayed on the screen. And also, in the course of the conversation, the phone lines will be opened. You can also call and ask her any question you want to ask. And yes, the phone lines are opened now, so you can call in and ask all your questions regarding the topic for discussion. Now, Angela, we have another question here, and okay, so this is from Esther inside Pokwase. Esther says, please, can you elaborate more on the reading deficiency you mentioned? I think she lost the name.
Okay, dyslexia.
Dyslexia, and how to overcome it.
Wow, overcoming dyslexia. I wouldn't say dyslexia is it's not a disease. It's not.
So people are born with that.
Yes, that's the thing.
So you can be born not to know how to read.
Oh, no. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, dyslexia is genetic. Yes. So let's assume that I am dyslexia. I might give birth to a child. My child may not be dyslexic. Then my child will grow, give birth, and my child's child, that's my grandchild, might be dyslexic. Okay. So you ask, but what is happening?
Yeah.
You trace it back to me. Yes, so that's one thing with dyslexia. You can't cure dyslexia. However, you can learn to live with it and find strategies that will help you live with that situation. So most of dyslexic students are confident, outspoken. They are very critical and analytical.
Okay.
Even though they can't chew, in Ghana, most often chew poor pass. They are not able to chew all the information that you give them, but just give them hands-on let them be part of whatever you are doing. So in your teaching, it shouldn't be like a lecture, university. You don't stand in front of them, speak, speak, and you expect them to reproduce. They are not like, their minds are not wired like that.
Even at the university, it wasn't easy for us, lecturing. Just come and stand and talk.
You talk. By the time 30 minutes is up, I've forgotten the first 10 minutes.
True.
So for them, you need to always involve them, practical. Let them use their hands. Let them think. They are very analytical. They are very critical. So when you do that and you ask them, they may not reproduce on paper, but just listen to what they say. Just last week, we had Dyslexia Awareness Day in my school, St. Martin de Porres, and we had some very prominent people who are dyslexic. I was surprised. And the strategies that they have adapted in order to thrive in their spaces, it will marvel you. So being dyslexic, of course, it comes with challenges, but the society should understand that it's not your fault, and we can all do our best. Teachers are involved. Parents, don't say, "Meba we were born you, and all that." You have
then they'll be comparing you, with other kids. It's so bad.
And it makes them lose their self-confidence, their self-esteem. It takes a long time for a child whose self-esteem has been lost to regain it. So as parents and teachers, you don't say, "We're born, you are not good, you're able to speak, how come you can't write?"
Right,
Analyze the situation.
It's true.
Solve it for the child.
Exactly. We also have a comment here. This is, okay, so I am Jacob inside Wali Wali. Please, what are the parents' responsibilities in helping their wards to read?
That's a very beautiful question there. Parents can do a lot. It's not just buying the books. Some parents think they will buy the books and that's all. When you buy the book for your child, guide your child, motivate the child to read. How? Sometimes, rewards.
Yeah.
When the child is able to read, say, a chapter, reward your child. You can take the child out, you can buy something for your child. It motivates them to read. One thing my grandma always does, grandma will tell you, if you're able to do this, I will get this for you. So anytime my mind is on whatever that I'm going to get. So when the child has this, the child will be motivated. Aside that too, as a parent, read.
Yeah.
Example, be an example for your child. So somebody may ask, what of parents who cannot read and write like my mother? If you have somebody close to you who can do that and the person is willing to help your child, give room. Some parents forget that parenting is not for the father and the mother only. We have so many relatives who always come on board to help, even friends. Sometimes your child will visit your friend's house and realize that that particular friend has books for his or her children. The child comes home, Mama, when I went to Auntie Akosia's house, I saw a library with so many books and they were reading. Me too, I want to read. Don't say, hey, Jawas and Froko. We don't have...
Go and wash the dishes.
No, we don't do that. Yes. You may not have a library in your house, but you can get a book for that child.
Okay.
And then help the child to read. In schools too, the teachers will do our best.
Right. The questions are, still coming.
Okay.
So this is, no name. And she says, I don't know if you're a female or a male. I bought a book for my niece some days back, and I told her to read the book and give me a summary at the end of it. And then I'll get her a surprise. The book is still lying in the room. She hasn't even opened it. Even though I told her I was going to get her a surprise, she hasn't opened it. Please, what can I do about this situation?
Does she read?
I don't think so.
Said the questioning. You see, sometimes the kids want to see you in that act that you are trying to convince them to also pick up. So if the reward is not working, be an example. You can have a family book club in your house. You, the parent, you read with them, with your children, so that they know that in the family, this is something that is normal. Yes, so that too can be done.
Right. We have another question here. Please, what is the global literacy rate and how can we bridge the gap?
I joined the World Literacy Foundation as an ambassador in 2023. And I was surprised with the statistics. Illiteracy rate is not only high in Africa. Yes.
Wow.
Illiteracy is not a problem only in Africa, in the Americas, in Europe. It's everywhere.
Wow.
It's everywhere. But I believe that we can start from our homes. When our children know that their parents can help them develop something, they easily do it.
Okay.
So, mom didn't go to school, right? Imagine I had a grandma who also didn't go to school. That means it would continue. If my teachers had not done a good job, it means that I would turn out to be part of this huge number of people who are illiterate. So it starts from the home. Imagine you have an educated mother. You come home, your homework, she helps you, or you have an educated father. You come home, your homework, he helps you. He helps you read. He helps you understand the importance of education. I know some kids will not understand and still turn out the other way. But a high probability is there that these children who are from literate homes turn out to also be literate.
Yeah, very true.
So if adult literacy is high, automatically children illiteracy will be low.
Yeah.
Because the adults are able to read, so they're able to guide the kids. But if adult illiteracy is high, then be rest assured that children illiteracy
will also be
high.
Yeah, that is. Angie, you know we are in a digitalized world era. You know, these days everything is on our phones, laptop, tablets. Even parents now get their kids tablets and other things. Don't you think this is also going to be like a hindrance to, you know, affecting students' adaptability to reading? Or maybe shifting from the traditional way of reading to the digitalized way of reading? Don't you think it is going to have, you know, some kind of negative impact on them?
I believe that the traditional way of reading is good, is great. But the digital way of reading too, it's not bad, it's good. Just the screen time for the children. So if they are not reading from books, it means they are always behind the screens, their eye. That is where the problem. I'm wearing an eyeglass.
Your second eye.
My second eye.
Yeah.
I'm always behind my laptop. So I can't do without this.
Yeah.
I love reading from the paper,
Okay.
but I prefer to read from my screens. So I need to protect my eye. But how many children know that staying behind the screen for so long is going to affect them? So yes, it has opened us up to books that we may not have in hard copy.
Yeah.
But the problem is the screen time.
Okay.
The screen time. How long do these kids stay behind? And now we have audiobooks. So this digitalization is not that bad. Even if you can't read, to reduce the screen time, the book will just be playing and you listen to the words. So that can reduce that. And aside the audiobooks, we have some apps that you will put your books on. It will read so that you listen. Speechify.
Yeah.
Yes. So digitalization is not, but I think it's a good thing. Well, I think it's a good thing. I love that. The papers are too much.
I have to also agree with you on that, because we can't, you know, stay with the traditional way of reading because we cannot adapt to digitalization. It is a good thing.
Another point is the price of hard copy books. One of my friends told me, Angie, I'm not reading, no, because reading is expensive.
Yeah.
I said, how? She says, when you go to the bookshop and you are buying a book, you won't get less than, say, 70 Ghana cedis, 100 cedis, 150 cedis, 200.
Yeah.
So this is an excuse. I said, okay, if you don't want to spend money, I will send you ebooks.
Okay.
She said, oh, the ebooks too, when I'm reading, I don't feel it. I said, no, your problem is not reading, it's expensive. You just don't like reading. Yes, so digitalization is good.
Right. So you made mention of the fact that in your school you have a library where you even have library time where students are taken to the library to read. You know, in some rural areas, deprived areas, there are no, such libraries or even teachers to encourage them to read. What do you think governments can do in, helping the situation at the other part of the country, the deprived areas who are also at the affected side?
Government? Well, I believe that when we shift all the work to government, it will be difficult for us to see progress. Because we've been talking about government doing this, doing that, but the situation seems to be unsolved.
Yeah.
Yes. So aside government, for government, actually, I don't know what government can do because we've spoken a lot about what government can do. But we have these NGOs that are really doing well when it comes to helping eradicate illiteracy in the rural areas. So we encourage more of such things. And the teachers in the government school, I believe that when we get a changed mindset, when the goal is to help our students and not necessarily about teaching being our job, we can find ways to help them. I always say that teaching is my ministry. Because honestly, Mimi, if you say you are teaching for money, then stop. Yes, because the money you are expecting to get, you will not get that. So you have to see it as something I want to do for these children.
Yeah, you have to be passionate about it.
You have to be passionate about it. And the children should be the focus.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting for resources all the time, resources may not come.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry for some of the follow-ups. We'll have to take you back to some of the questions you answered. So there is a follow-up question here. Please, can you give us the strategies of... You made mention of the fact that you had a conference. Hey, was it a conference? No.
The outreach?
No, in your school.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
Yes. Awareness.
Where big men were also victims of such, and they gave out some strategies. So I think that is what the person is referring to. If you could, lay down some of the strategies so they can also help themselves. Yeah.
Okay. So I will talk about the strategies I intend to implement.
Okay.
So one thing about dyslexic children is that they are difficult to deal with because they are not like all kids. You don't use the same approach or method to teach them. In our traditional classroom setting, you hardly see hands-on learning. You hardly see the kids involved in the teaching and learning, even though that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
We see the lecture method most often. So with dyslexic students or children, always make sure that they are involved in what you are doing.
Yeah.
Don't preach to them.
Okay.
You are not in the church.
Yeah.
Yes. So let them be involved. Ask them questions. Let them talk. Let them bring their ideas. Yes. Aside that too, always motivate them. Let them know that they are different, but they are not a problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that these two will even go a long way to help.
Yeah. And I'm very interested, in the motivation part.
Yes.
Because when people are motivated, they do, they come out so well, so good. And I think it's very, very important. We have a question here. Please, my name is Mameya from Kaswa, a mother of 3, and I don't know if I can still go to school. I can't even read. and write. So I spoke to local language. So I speak, okay, let me just paraphrase. So I speak the local language with my child. Oh God, it's okay. So let me just, I understand the language is very bad. So let me just say,
Okay.
she's a mother of 3 and she's an illiterate. She doesn't even know if she can go back to school. So she speaks the local language with her kids in the house. What can she do at this point in time?
So you see, most often we believe that being literate, being literate means just speaking English with your kids as a parent. It goes beyond that. My mom didn't speak English with me in the house. She always spoke Twi. And when grandma came to the house, she always spoke Twi. Even the summary, it was in Twi. The issue is when the children come home to you, the local language, it's not bad. You can speak it. However, how to help them with their homework? See, that's where the problem comes. When they have academic problems, who are they going to talk to? So if she has a husband or some family members who are a bit educated, I think they can all support these kids. Yes. But she can do something about her. We have adult education.
Yeah.
Yes. So she can take up weekend classes if the kids are not too young. Even I believe if they are young, you can just carry them and then you go. A convenient environment where mosquitoes will not feed on our precious little ones.
Yeah.
Yes. She can look at adult education. I think that will help.
I also think so. Before we move to the launch of your book, what advice would you give to parents and wardens watching us today on the importance of literacy?
The importance of literacy cannot be overemphasized.
Yeah.
It is so important. And we shouldn't leave it to chance that the moment my child is going to school, my child will be illiterate. It doesn't happen by chance. It should be intentional.
Yeah.
Parenting, as a matter of fact, is intentional.
Intentional, yeah.
So if you want your child to be a reader, we say readers are leaders. So if you want your child to be a leader, then you should be intentional about what you are allowing your child to read and the exposure that you are giving your child. Same to teachers. We shouldn't let the limited resources restrict us. Sometimes you have to go out of your way to make sure that your students are getting the best. I know it's not easy, but my fellow teachers, let's do this.
Let's do it. All right. So can a child read, right?
Can a child write?
Can a child write, right? That is your book.
Yes.
Or it is not your book.
My book is Can a Child Write? A Journey in the Imagination of Young Minds.
Tell us about it.
Okay. It was a book project I thought of doing, but I was afraid that it wouldn't turn out well.
So that is what we have on our screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Very beautiful. I like the color combination.
My graphic designer did a good job.
Yeah, it's very, very catchy and you are just good.
Oh, thank you so much.
So yeah, tell us about it.
It started as a book project last term in May. So I taught them how to write stories. It's under creative writing.
Okay.
And I gave them assignments, homeworks. But after reading their stories, I realized that some of these stories were absolutely great, fantastic. I was fascinated.
Yeah.
And I asked myself, are these stories going to be in these books?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nobody will see them. So it's for my eyes only. What if the world could see? What if the world could enter the minds of these young ones? So I decided to take it up. But as usual, imposter syndrome. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You are doing too much.
Sister,
sit down. You're the only teacher. I told my friend about it and he said, sister, do it.
Do it.
So I started it. I typed every story. they were in their books, so I had to type them. I edited them. I looked for a graphic designer to do the cover. I applied for the ISBN number. Everything was going through successfully. And finally, we have it ready. So I just want the world to know that writing is not for adults only.
Yeah.
Our children have great minds. They are creative. They are smart. We need to drum it. They are smart.
Yeah.
So that's what the world should look out for.
Briefly, what do you intend to achieve from this book?
I want every child to know that whatever gift he or she has can be used. And he or she can use it if there are resources, there is support. So if you see your fellow child or friend as an author and you are an artist, do it. If you're a footballer, do it. Whatever you believe you can do, these ones are authors. I call them my young authors.
Yeah.
These young authors have done
I
it.
can't wait to have a copy. I just want to know what, they've been thinking about.
They will marvel you. You'll be surprised.
Right. So where is this launching, happening?
It's a virtual book
Virtual?
launch.
Okay.
Yes. It's not a physical event. It's a
Okay.
virtual book launch
Okay.
on Saturday. And Saturday happens to be my birthday.
Oh.
So it's a gift to the world.
Yeah.
My students and I are giving this beautiful gift to the world. So Google Meet, the link will be circulated and anybody at all can join. I would love it if parents would join and allow their children to listen because it's going to motivate them.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Angela, for, passing through. It's been very insightful, discussing this with you. And I've known you for some time now. I think about 5 years, and I know the passion you have for reading, literacy, and everything. And so when this topic popped up, I just knew you were the right person for this discussion. Thank you so much for coming. And there you have it. This is where we end the lifestyle conversation here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. We have some beautiful, amazing personalities to celebrate. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
Naomi Ama Putana, and this is from Kofi Landlord. On your birthday, I want to remind you of how incredible and strong you are. Here's to another year of growth and grace. Happy birthday, Naomi Ama Putana. Okay, this is from your bestie, Loretta, Mrs. Mandela Riafi. Happy birthday, Mrs. Mandela Riafi. May your years ahead be filled with happiness, love, and success. Cheers to another year of adventure, unforgettable moments, and endless friendship. We also have this from Dorcas to Martin Doglu. My first love, my finest gentleman who showed me love genuinely. As you embark on this new age, may everything turn new for you, love. I love you so much. More wins ahead. We all love you too. And this is also from BYL Ministry to Lady Abigail. Your selflessness is one of a kind, a rare gem in our time. We pray that the Lord will bless your new age and grant you the desires of your heart. Happy birthday. And this is from Tina to Joshua. May the year ahead bring everything you've been working towards. Happy birthday, Joshua. And this is from your beloved children to Mr. Ampedu. You have reached a great milestone in life. Thank you for all your support and encouragement. We wish you good health and happiness in life. Happy birthday. And this is to Pastor Lord Aben. Happy birthday to Pastor Lord Aben. May the Almighty God bless you. And this is from Nana. And we also have one here. Happy birthday to my sister from another mom, Hajia Mary. You have been there for me for years and you have proven to be a good sister. May God richly bless you for all your sacrifices for me and my kids. I wish you more of everything you wish for yourself. Happy, happy birthday, Hajia Mary, from your very own sister, Na Amankwa Evelyn. Thank you so much for bringing in your birthday messages. And this is where we end the segments for birthday and also lifestyle. I am Miriam Abna Adede. Now, up next is the main discussion with Beatrice and her guest. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.